Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Today's episode of the Mike O'Mara Show is brought to you by our bonus packages. Please go to MikeO'MaraShow.com and click on the bonus banner. You'll get access to all of our bonus content, and even better, you'll be helping out TMOS. So please quit sucking, and we thank you.
Available on demand every day in iTunes and the Google Play Store, and around the world on MikeO'MaraShow.com. What more can we do for you? It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
I am ill. I am ill. I am mentally ill. I am ill. I am ill. I am mentally ill. That's okay. I'm not alone. I know other people that go through this too. It's the COVID and everything else. I am having a mini breakdown. Not really.
That was a great opening number.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Welcome to the
real
Mike O'Mara Show.
Barn burner.
Yeah, it's very, very nice to have you. We have Madeline, who is sitting in for where Oscar normally sits.
Yes. This is a historic first. I don't think she's ever really jocked the show before.
Yeah, I've never run the board or paneled before, I don't think. So I'm kind of nervous.
I don't worry about you. I don't know. You are you're just somebody who was a fit for this show from the very, very beginning, and we're lucky to have you. So
thank you.
I don't care. You could screw up all day long. You could destroy the whole show.
Keep the expectations
and you'd come back.
low.
You would come. No, you would come back the next day. I like you too much. That's all there is to it. So
thank you.
And I should bring up one fact though that I know that some of the times where I will be not on the show, and I've seen that Bloom will be sitting in too, and I kind of feel just a little pang of guilt that Bloom has been kind of left off the docket for my week of hosting with you, Rob. I don't understand why that might be. Now, let me, before you answer.
All right.
Mouth, quiet. I have to say that I think it's because there are certain individuals who perceive that I would have problems or that I would get upset if we had Pony Boy paneling, or because didn't you do a show with Oscar where he had a square, where he had a Brady Bunch square?
Yes, I believe we did. That's when we interviewed. That's when we introduced, and we don't have that option today. Reverb Pony, when he had the big
I'm
rich
aware
voice.
of Reverb Pony, but the
he had his
question I
box
have
that day.
So who's, because I don't. Look, I know the show has this sign in back of me where it says my name on it and all that.
Right.
And I know I'm the old fart that has the long career and did a few shows in a major market. And some people said some nice things about the Don and Mike show and
I know
my show.
You love when I say this, Mike. You are a heritage radio talent.
It's very nice to hear that, but but you know what? How about old Donnie Simpson kicking ass again after all these years? After our friends at CBS, like they did to everybody, boning him, and then he bounces back and he kicks ass on another company. I love that.
I do
wanted
too.
That. Never got that. Yeah, really wanted that bad. Thought it was going to be magical. Yes, sir. Mike O'Mara on the edge. It would have been if you and Oscar had come with me.
I agree. And there's a
then
little.
We could have Kirk and Shamrock and Oscar and Rob and Mike, and it would have been
that sounds
a killer
like an
show
awfully
and
full
no
boat.
music.
Seems like an awfully full boat to me. Sometimes, Mike, a Shamrock is not lucky. Even if you're Irish, it doesn't always bring you luck. Sometimes he has a little too much to drink on the way to the concert, and
you never forget that.
Why should I when he got the job that belonged to me?
I understand.
Yes.
I understand that. Let's talk about Pony. Did someone make the decision? Well, we can't have Pony in while Mike's here. He'll have a meltdown.
No, I don't think it was that at all. I think it was that Maddy brings a certain energy and excitement to it, and always a great opinion. And Pony
wasn't Maddy on with Pony the last time?
I'm
just looking out for the emotions of a fragile boy who I think fondly of more than he ever gives me credit for.
But also Pony, when he is off sort of and I always equate him to when Dave Letterman used to speak to his director, Hal Gurney. You don't see him, but you only hear him. and only in little pieces. And I think that is
Maddy,
using
do you
Pony
get a
to its
sense,
best.
when I'm talking to Rob, sometimes of what I deal with, where Rob does not directly answer
Absolutely.
any questions
I get that
I
as
have,
well.
You know,
Yes.
It's like I'm asking why he's not given a box this week at all.
I was thrown the directive from our CEO, Oscar Santana, that Rob Ford would do Monday and Wednesday, and Maddy would do Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
And
what about
I got no problem putting Pony on one of the days, but not today,
let's ask
certainly.
Pony how he feels about things. I mean, I'd like to know what his thoughts are.
You know what? I think there's a lot of hatred that gets thrown my way, and you know what? I think Maddy and I have a balance. Like she's fun and exciting, and I'm more like dark and angry. So you can't have too much of one thing. You need the yin and the yang.
So what you're telling me, I believe, is that you would not be averse to having your own box when we do these little gatherings.
You know what? I think having a box might be swell.
You know what? I like that
There's
initiative.
a camera in there if we want to turn it on.
we could give him a box.
It is possible.
Do it tomorrow. Do it tomorrow. Or when is Rofo
tomorrow
going to be
is
here tomorrow?
Ford. Tomorrow is Ford, yes.
Do it Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
Or we'll do it Thursday, and then Friday we'll go back to whatever you had planned for Friday.
Well, let's see how it goes on Thursday, and that will determine what happens on Friday.
I didn't say that. I pointedly wasn't going to say, let's see how it goes. I was not going to put pressure into the situation. Seriously, this is one of those rare times where I was actually thinking about the feelings of another individual on the show. Maybe... Because my feelings are so raw this week.
I know,
and
it's
right up
tough.
at the surface.
It's tough up there. I know. I'm so sorry. It's bad.
No, it's not tough. It's not. This is when I get. If you say it's tough up there, see, when you say that, I'm going to get the emails. Oh, I'm really sorry.
No, I don't mean it's tough.
Dealing with all this.
I don't mean that. You're misinterpreting what I said. What I mean, it's tough sometimes, especially in these crazy COVID-fueled times. Family is a weird thing. I'm going through it myself. A lot of stuff. A lot of weird things. Another time I was yelling with my mom again because we had to blow off a funeral. She says, come on, let's just for a few minutes. I said, it's Terry's sister.
That's just so that you throw that away. It's what, Carrie's sister passed away?
No, Terry, my Uncle Terry's sister.
I'm sorry. Okay.
No.
Yeah. All right. So not particularly close in that situation.
But she was a tremendously good woman because she was suffering cancer. This is a fun story. She was suffering cancer at the same time as my Uncle George, and they were very much in tune with each other and sort of a support network. And she lived about a year longer than my Uncle George did. And it was very appreciated by my side of the family that she was there for him. And it would have been great to go there and show support to my Uncle Terry. And I said, but Sharon, we can't. It's not safe yet. We can show support without showing up to the funeral. And she says, but just for a few minutes. I said, do you remember in high school when they said, everyone you kiss, you're kissing everyone they've ever kissed? That's what's happening at the funeral.
No, you have every right. Look, I would, a church service of any kind, wedding or funeral, I would not have anything to do with it. So I'm with you on that one. And as far as that.
And it's just, there's no one I love more than my mother. And it's a very strange familial relationship when you feel you have to raise your voice to someone that not only you love, but is your parent because you want to set them straight. So what you're doing,
and you've been there before with your mom, where you're stressing to her the seriousness of the issue at hand. There is a particular nurse's video, I think I mentioned it on the show yesterday, maybe not, where she did a video diary and she passed away due to COVID. Mm-hmm. And it was it was another fat person like me. Sure. And it was horrifying to watch. I think that you know what, there is going to be so much Monday morning quarterbacking on this COVID situation where I will look back on this. There's nothing we could do. I'm not taking I'm not taking any of the responsibility. This is leadership. This is everybody involved. There have been so few deep dives into what this really looks like. I really don't think there's been nearly enough. When you think of what people go through when they get this, we just didn't. We put charts up and we talked about numbers and we talked about masks and we talked about you're 10 times more likely to get a viral video of someone who is ranting about wearing a mask than you are to get any kind of thing like that video diary of that woman who passed away, where you look at that and you see her face and you see the decay and you see how serious this is. We are a visual culture now. We need to see what this is like. This could have been done so differently to stress the import to the little minds out there, or the brainwashed minds out there.
That's how you have to get to
wanted
them.
to pretend that this was a hoax. It's still
here.
I will look back in 2020 and say to myself, how did this happen? How did we politicize this? Of all the things. And by the way, if we can politicize this, anything can be politicized.
You're right.
Anything.
If we go back to the very beginning, it seems to me we had about a week to a week and a half of when we would get like an oral history, people describing the horrors of being on a ventilator. What's it like as you're actually suffering?
I disagree. I think it was more like the frontline doctors that were telling the story. It didn't have the same impact. I watched, and by the way, I didn't need video to know.
No.
I saw numbers early on, but there was one particular shot. It was a shot of somebody where they were removing an intubation tube. They were changing the intubation tube. And they pulled out what looked like it looked like Roto-Rooter. They were pulling out the matter that was involved in it. It was so horrifying. And I looked at that and said, "This is what people are doing." And then I just it wigs me out. So with your mom, I get it that you want to scream you're screaming for the right reasons.
And she ultimately she came to agree, but she's got a long life of love and respect for family members, and it's hard to
So they're not doing
that.
A virtual funeral.
No, they had a get-together with distancing and people arriving over a period of time, but still, it's not worth the risk. I don't feel it's worth the risk. Because you can call, and you can write, and you can send flowers, and you can show concern in other ways. You talk about the fact that they're not covering the horror of what happens when you get but yet they love. Could you live the rest of your life without seeing another Karen video? I'm done with them. I don't need to see people mad about that because it's not what it's about.
For people that might not know, explain the nature of the Karen video. Explain that because I think it needs explained for people.
You're right. It's invariably a middle-aged woman who has been caught on a cell phone video ranting about social distancing, not wanting to wear a mask.
A Karen is somebody who's being an ass in like a grocery store.
Exactly,
like
and challenging authority normally.
A Karen can be a man too, right? A Karen can be a man like that dude down at the Costco down in Florida where I live.
Exactly.
My Costco down there.
And I'm not sure exactly how they got the name Karen for it, but it's become sort of a buzzword in this time. And every day it's, here's a Karen video, and she didn't want to wear a mask at the grocery store, and she's yelling and she's ranting. Well, when you do that, even though you're calling them out in a way, you're sort of celebrating it. We need to get the message out. And again, even me who was arguing against it, I felt bad. I felt bad that we weren't going to the funeral, but you just can't. It's this, it's really, you're trying to undo a culture that we've been living our entire life. And you need to realize we got to tighten our belt. It's okay not to go to bars. It's okay not to go to restaurants. Are you calling Karen?
I get it. No, I'm calling my sister.
Oh, okay.
Because you had mentioned she wants to come on the show.
Yeah, tomorrow. We have her booked. Can she run board? She could get her own box instead of Maddy or Robb Ford.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Mike, you know why she's not answering? It's Tuesday.
What's that?
She's playing tennis.
All right.
Remember? That's the reason we couldn't book her for today.
Okay. All right. Oh, is that what it is? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I get that. I'll. You know that better than I do. I like that your memory works that way. I think that you would mention Katie Powers. Having a dark night too. I think look. I stand by all my. I put it on my show prep as far as we all want to fit in, and sometimes you just have to admit you really don't, and then you have to deal with it. But everything that's my angst when I come up here has probably been compounded by the circumstances and the feeling of lack of control and COVID and all that. And I think that we're going through a real mire right now where there's not exactly a clear light at the end of the tunnel. And so people probably are going through funks. Things that would normally be their normal problems are magnified. And you talked about Katie Powers having a little meltdown with you about cake and cookies.
I got a text from her Saturday, and we'll get into this later, I'm sure, but I had what I would like to call a rare weekend where a lot of bad things sort of all came together. And then Saturday night, I was sitting down to have a drink because that always helps, and I get bing.
Does it really, Rob? Does it really help?
Well, I would be averse to comment the other way because I don't ever not drink. So I'm just counting on that's the right thing to do. I get a text from Katie, and it says, I need to do a show. If that's not something, is regarding cake and cookies. If that's not something you can do moving forward, then we need to call it off. I get it if you don't want to feel fun or funny, and my heart goes out to that. But if you think we can no longer bring joy, then we need to...
Stop right there. I have lots of questions, and we can deal with it here.
Okay.
I'm fine with that. We have plenty of time. I need to ask you about that. So had you indicated to her that you didn't feel funny or fun and you didn't feel like doing a show?
At one point, there was a lot of stumbling blocks that have prevented us. Eventually...
It's not the answer I asked.
Yes, it is true. At one point. At one point, I said,
point that you didn't feel fun or like doing it.
Yeah, I said I don't feel like doing it. I don't feel like I can be a lot of fun today. I don't feel like doing it. And so we didn't. And then she says, if you think we can no longer bring joy, then we need to make a fist and call it quits. And I had never, ever wanted to call it quits on Cake and Cookies. I just didn't feel like doing it. But since it was such a great night of such a great day, I said, I'm not even going to deal with this right now. We're done. Thanks. This is just about this.
Did you?
This is about par
how
for
did
the
you
course.
Communicate that to her?
I did not reply. I just said because you know what, this would be this.
But
would,
in your own mind, you said, I'm not going to deal with this right now.
Right. There was other things at play that were more impactful to me. So she texted me yesterday,
like the moving of the records.
That and also Julia and the whole school thing with Julia.
The school thing, which we will get to later.
Okay, yeah.
Because that's
the moving of the records is a pain in the ass, too. It's the worst job ever. But I spoke to Katie yesterday, and she says, you didn't reply to the text. I said, you know what? We had Tony on today. If he can do a show after 26 months, let's do a show. Let's do one this weekend. So,
all right, so the cake and cookies things, you've never liked doing it.
No, that's not true.
No. And I'm not saying that. You enjoyed doing the show with her, but the actual responsibility of doing the show has never been something you like.
Well, it's something that it can be postponed because there's other stuff that is more immediately required at all times. And so sometimes it's easy to postpone it. But it's never been a drag to do the show. And it's just a matter of making a fist.
Of course it's a drag to do the show because you don't want to do the show.
Well, I didn't want to do it.
That's why you don't do the show. Of course it's been a drag to do the show.
But we're going to do one this weekend. But the reason that I bring it up is she says, oh, yeah, about the text. I'm sorry about that.
Hold on. You're moving away. Stop.
All right.
C-blocking me when I'm trying to get to the crux of the matter here. I'm asking you about the show and about your psyche and about the real Rob. And I want to know what. So it just was. I mean, the show when it started was a weekly show.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And then it became what?
Semi-weekly.
I don't, and by the way, you'll please tell the audience, it's not you or Katie. I don't even listen to this show.
That's true. That's very true.
When I do a show, The Land of Podcasting, it's not what I do. And I probably would do better to listen to more of them because then I might even involve people in the medium. I would be supporting the medium more, but I just don't, because I put a lot into this, and when this is done, I'm off to play with my kid or read a book. I mean, that's
understandable.
Or play around at 18. That's what I do. But at the same time, so you did it. Give people the history of when Cake and
we started it. I'd say probably
existence.
4 or 5 years ago, and it was a weekly
3 or 4
thing.
people listening to this are going to really care about this discussion.
And take notes. And that was when Katie and Dan were living in the Washington, D.C. area. And she'd come over and we'd do it once a week. And it was, a scheduled thing. Then they moved to Savannah and we had to sort of retool the show, and we were doing it via Skype, and we got that worked out. Then she had jaw trouble and she was told not to talk for any extended period of time. So even though we did those occasionally against doctor's orders, then when I rebuilt the studio here, this was when COVID started. And because of that, I couldn't record via Skype with her. So I had to buy a new piece of equipment, and I did that in April or so. It's called people know it's a Scarlett. It's a digital interface. It allows the computer to talk to the board.
I don't give a damn.
Yeah, we're going to make a new episode of Cake and Cookies. But then
how racist is this film that nobody wants to see anymore? And then everybody bought all the copies of it. Yeah, sold more than any before because you tell America something racist, they're gonna snap it right up.
Oh, they love it. They love it. And
so a lot of roadblocks, but even when you had the technology, and even before the Jaw thing, it was not a consistent product.
No, but when we did it, we always had a good
no
time.
Political persuasions.
No, not at all.
We did it, and we did it, and we did it, and then when we decided it wasn't the juice wasn't worth the squeeze, which was both revenue and listenership.
Yeah,
we pulled the plug on it, and you know that Chris knew, and I know I would open the door to doing another political show pre-election or around the debates with.
Do you
Chris
think
Briggs.
do you have enough to talk about though on that now?
I would be more than willing to do a political persuasion, but when it's not there, because people are burned out on politics, it's very frustrating. So I don't know. I don't know about that, but we went. That's it. With Cake and Cookies, it was you wouldn't do one like months at a time. Then somebody give you crap. I might come on the show and give you crap about doing, and you do one. You know,
people
have
been amazingly. But you're right. You're right. But people have been amazingly supportive. It is a fun show to do. I love talking to her. And sometimes, like even yesterday, the phone call we had was maybe 15, 20 minutes. It was. It felt like we were doing that show. And so we're going to do one this week, and we'll have it for you next week. And we're going to get back in the habit of it because I think probably, as this show is good therapy for you, probably another outlet, probably good therapy for both of us too. Just talk about what's going on.
The idea of not feeling funny or feel like doing the show, when you would say that to her, which obviously struck a chord with her, so that when she went through her depressive period, she came back to you and said, then I think we just ought to pull the plug on it. What caused you? What was the time frame for you saying I don't feel like doing
it was
show?
Dead in the middle of the pandemic. And it's just sometimes, it grinds on you. It really does. And
you've been dealing, we won't go into details, but you've dealt with a lot of crap this past year as well, which I know about. And, and it's not always fun. And so I certainly could get that.
And I probably misthought it because what's the best part of my day every day is doing this. This is what's fun.
I find it, look, I swear to God, it is not a joke where there's a reason I'm here at my age right now doing this is because I don't think I'd want to do anything else.
Yeah.
And I mean, that is in the realm of what I do. That's like, I've said to people before, would you get back, would you take another corporate radio gig, a regular corporate radio, perhaps syndicated gig? I said, it would have to be an amazingly large suitcase.
Yeah.
But I don't think that even that I would be miserable. Whereas coming in here when I did the show yesterday and I was able to purge and talk about my feelings, even when we're not trying to be funny, it's an outlet just to
absolutely
scream about the world and do that. And I think that people, thank you, Jesus, our listeners have kind of tracked with that. And that's okay. So that's why, but that's me more than you and more than even Oscar. So I never get a chance to really hone in on you and your feelings about the world.
I need to rethink it because if this is an outlet that makes me feel good for an hour and a half every day, which it does, always love it. I need to maybe think that, an additional hour a week with Katie, which would be a different presentation, but yet another outlet is probably
now
a good
we're on
thing.
To something. I'm glad we started talking about this because I think that
because it's definitely related, a different show. It's a different show than this, certainly.
I read an article that Howard Stern came on his show and said that Ellen DeGeneres should go back on the air and be just a total dick. And that was just so funny. First of all, it's Howard being Howard, and that's just funny. But at the same time, I thought about that. Maybe if you did not feel that the Cake and Cookies show there was a responsibility to be so fluffy and light and giggly and all that, and you came in and you both really laid it out there on the line, I think, we talked about that. And if you popped a few promos on this show about that, where you really got heavy, who cares?
Well, we've done it.
It's good for you, right?
We've done it, and actually, the reason
You've gotten
is
heavy talking on that show.
Oh yeah, we've talked death.
Okay.
We've talked a whole bunch of stuff. We got very into the fact that
You love death. You've been a fan of death for a long time.
Been
You
prepping
fear
for
death.
it for years.
Yes.
But the reason that Katie she apologized. She says, "Oh yeah, that text. I was on a new painkiller, and I was in a very dark place. I didn't really mean what I said in those. I said,
well, tell her to get that out of. If she's in a dark place because of medication, get that out of the cabinet.
It's the beautiful thing. When she hates, no one hates better than her. But
she's a phenomenal hater. Absolutely one of the greats. Yeah, that's how she came on my show to start with.
Exactly right. That's right.
And I hate you too. Remember
Katie's
that? What is it with
thoughts.
these people?
But she said, yeah, I wanted to tell you about that. Before I went to bed Saturday night, I told Dan I hated him. That's her husband. They have about the best marriage you've ever seen. And the first thing he said to her the next morning.
Hold on a second. That marriage is predicated on her living her life and he goes to bed.
No,
I've been in that home. I've been in that home. What, his or hers?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they both. I remember one time when I was staying down there and I brought a gift to them, a lovely bottle of rye. And at one point the evening, I turned to Dan. I said, "Another drink?" And he said to me, and I quote,
I will say this regarding that.
Yes.
I know, Carla, if you're listening to me, I appreciate the understanding because I know I have been Johnny bipolar this week. I know that I've been driving you nuts. I'm aware of that, and I will try to do better. I swear to you, I will try to do better.
Yeah.
But I know
I had a moment.
done.
I had a moment, I think it was Friday, when Carrie said, "Do you have any plans tonight, or are you just going to sit there and look miserable?" I said, "That's about it."
Well, we need to talk. Later in the week, we will cover this, all right? I have it on my show prep today.
Right.
All right, it's the idea of has Robb turned into a hermit? That is something that I've become aware of with all the openness between you and me and Carrie and Carla and all that and Oscar and all that. Everybody knows about your world a lot more like that. And we're gonna you know what we're gonna do with you? We're gonna come up with a plan. We're going to come up with a plan because I think one of the things with you,
I'm not going to a funeral. I'm not going to a funeral.
No, but and it's tough. I know it's tough in the COVID times, but later in the week, I seriously think you need to have a something. You need to have a something. You need another outlet. I'm not telling you to get another job and supplement your. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life. I'm telling you that
something.
You need a something. We all need a something. One of the problems I have up here is I go a little squirrely because I don't have my outlet to do what I love to do. And I hate riding my bike. I hate it, hate it, hate it. I know it's good for me, but I hate riding a bike. And everybody rides a bike. All the old people ride bikes.
No, there's the lady in the orange vest that you almost kill.
Oh, God almighty. Sally. Hi, Sally. How are you?
Sneaking Sally through the alley.
Sally. All right, we got to start the show.
We should.
This was productive. It was healthy. I like the vibe here. This is not a phony vibe. This is more of a real vibe. Our relationship is evolving on the air, Robb.
I agree.
This makes me feel good. This makes me feel calm. And Maddy, just seeing your face, comparing it to Oscar's is an improvement right there.
Oh, I'm
just
glad.
because you look like you're engaged and you're not bored and you're not texting and doing all that. I mean, he talks more, obviously.
Can you imagine how this segment would have been if while we had these wonderful moments, we'd been staring at Pony?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Maybe you're right. Pony, do you have anything to add to that?
You know what? Maybe I don't feel like being on Thursday.
Start the show. It's the Mike O'Mara Show. You can listen to the Mike O'Mara Show at www.mikeomarashow.com.
Stay tuned for an outstanding entertainment program.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
Let's get down to business.
From the entertainment capital of the world.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. Mike O'Mara, Robb Spiewak, Oscar Santana. And now, from his easy chair, here's Mike.
We are live from the Podcast Village studios in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. This is the Mike O'Mara Show. Glad to have you along on a terrific Tuesday. We're heard all over the place from Beargrass, North Carolina, Myersville, Maryland. Really, our heart goes out to the folks up in Maryland dealing with that horrible explosion yesterday.
Oh, my God,
Port Bolivar, Texas, Ruckersville, Virginia, Central South Carolina, and Islamabad in Pakistan.
Or we used to have a guy on the show who said Pakistan.
Pakistan. Who said that on the show?
Hi.
Oh, he did. Pakistan.
Have you ever... if you ever really want to bring joy to your life, watch Norm Macdonald's appearances on Conan. Not when he's doing stand-up, but when he's doing desk. Because he'll tell a joke that's 15 minutes long, and it's not funny, but you laugh 1,000 times while he's telling it. There's no better guess. Oh, he's so great. Our
show today brought to you by Cornerstone. If your mortgage is 3.25% or higher, it might even be a lower number than that right now. When's the last time you chatted with old Mark Livingstone and all those good folks downstairs?
Actually, I was in talks with Joe Rogers about our own mortgage here at Casa de Spiewak this week.
Hey, how about that? I might need to talk to him, too. I don't know. I mean, I just got a mortgage, so I'm not sure. Call my friend Mark Livingstone at Cornerstone First Financial. You need to do it today because the rates are great. And Cornerstone First Financial's rates are so low, they've actually become a disruptor in the industry because their rate, service, and programs are unparalleled. Stephanie Loftus. I know that name for a long time. She's been listening to our show. Here's her quote. Stephanie is feeling grateful. I just got off the phone with Joanna. She's the one that handled mine.
Handled yours.
At Cornerstone First Financial. We are refinancing in California at 2.99%, and it doesn't get any better than that. I told them Mike O'Mara's show crew feels like family to me. Thank you for having such amazing advertisers. Proud of this one. We say it all the time because they're local. We don't have them, and that's it. We do national advertising primarily on this program, and by the way, we'll take anybody. No, I'm kidding. No, we love Cornerstone First Financial. It's great. 202-625-1221. That's 202-625-1221 or online at cornerstonefirst.com. Think of this. At this level, you'll likely never need to refi again. So whether it's a purchase or refi, 202-625-1221 or cornerstonefirst.com. Cornerstone First Financial, personal attention from application to closing. We have a short break here, so I just wanted to get this off my chest. Pet peeve, if anybody's aware of this, I'm not going to give you great detail on this. I'm just going to lay it out there because I hate it, and I don't even know the commercial. But there's the commercial with the president from 24.
Yes.
I think it's Allstate. I think he does Allstate, but I'm not sure.
I think you're right.
And my pet peeve, though, is they've got him going into places now and getting recognized as the guy from the commercial. And it's a commercial for the same company that's making. My pet peeve, insurance companies that do commercials making a big deal about their own commercials. Yes. So you put a commercial out, you buy a lot of ad time, then you make another commercial going, oh, that's that guy that's so scary famous. They've done it. It's not the first time they've done it, but it pisses me off that they do that because they have so much money that they do it. I love him. He's a great guy.
Dennis
That's a
Haysbert.
good pitchman.
Yes.
Dennis Haysbert. Haysbert?
Yes. Haysbert.
Hasbingenson?
It's pronounced, they have a pronounce here. Dennis Habinson.
Slagging lady.
I think it's Haysbert.
So the commercial is the guy going out in like regular life, and then
he's like in a coffee shop, right?
That's the 10% discount guy. That's the 10%. Everybody's saying, oh, because he's so scared. It's such BS.
It is.
And insurance is such BS.
They're trying to assume the fact that we already know their whole campaign. And that we're recognizing Dennis Hayes out at a coffee shop when it's not happening.
Don't get me started on that little lizard.
Flo?
Where they
oh no, not Flo.
Flo from Progressive. That was funny.
Geico. The
Flo, the very safe Flo.
Yeah,
like
but you're talking about the Governor Employment Insurance Company, Geico.
My father was in the insurance advertising business for 35 years. He was a copywriter. He wrote the jingle, P.S. 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 means personal service. You may not have ever heard of it.
Well, that might be regional, but it's catchy. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whatever. So it was...
he didn't write the song about the people and the girls in Europe that were naked, though. That was written for him.
Over there, with the girls who are naked but bare. Our wild Irish Bill. His thoughts were... he was so beloved by the people he worked with. I have that somewhere. I know I do.
Like on an audio tape or a...
Yeah, I don't know. God.
If you find it, I can restore it for you. I'd be delighted to restore it for you.
Somewhere. I'm a bad
last week I restored a Doc Severinsen LP from 1962 that was toast. And I got it. I'm going to send you it. It's so good. It is just blaring brass. There's only like maybe 2 burns on the whole album, but I worked on it for a good while. And
how do you restore a vinyl album?
You first of all, you make a wave copy of it, just raw.
So it's you digitally restore it.
Yeah, right. And then I go through and I brighten the EQ and I declick and depop.
Could you do that for people?
Yeah.
Like if somebody wanted now you
well,
make
I've done stuff with 78s before, right? I mean, I went through
but
a whole era.
I'm thinking if they can do your memories with
Legacy Box,
with Legacy Box.
I would love to restore audio.
With restored audio.
I would love to
Maddy?
do that.
That's his thing now. We already came up with it before the end of the week.
That's
my
cool.
thing. I've got a thing now.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would allow you to stay hermit-like and stay in your home and do that.
But no, I would still have to maybe mail. I could get Robert to do that.
What was I talking about? I completely forgot my train of
Insurance.
You're talking about insurance and
getting back to these
yeah.
insurance commercials. For example, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
I hate that one.
Well, no, but it's just pounded on you constantly.
I know.
And when I watch a lot of golf on TV, and that's all I see are these insurance companies again and again and again.
Well,
I see enough
targeted
of
audience there,
and the toad or
lizard,
or the salamander that's on all the time without having to have a commercial. To add on a commercial where you're telling me how scary popular the guy is, that's the commercial. Because he doesn't do anything. He's not entertaining anyone. He's sitting out in a chair in the middle of a 4-way intersection and people are driving by him. He's not doing anything special like he did when he was on 24 as the president. So stop it, insurance companies. Stop doing it. And here's the thing. You have so much money and there's so many people that are funny and creative. How about... Instead of the prime directive, and by the way, the prime directive, is pound that name. Pound that name. 15 minutes could save you 700% or whatever their thing is that they want to say. And they pound it into you, and they pound it into you, and they pound. We know a thing or two because we've been there. They pound that. Constant guy. Slug line, pound. Frequency.
Yeah.
How about just really creating something so special that we would wait with great anticipation for your commercial breaks, where they would come on and it would be they can't.
There's the same on Channel 5. I watch the Channel 5 local news every morning. That's my buddy in the morning. And during the commercial break, they run the same spot twice with a commercial between it. And it is a frumpy British lady for WeBuyHouses.com. And we buy it sight unseen. We'll buy it anyway. We'll buy it. And it's so nothing that I look at it and my jaw drops because they're putting
moved into
all
the Super
focus.
Bowl now. It's moved into the Super Bowl. The commercials were infinitely funnier 20 years ago with the Super Bowl when they were starting, when it became the thing. So to all those people that have, and by the way, I try occasionally to make our commercials a little lighter. I do.
Yes.
I do. But I'm not Geico, okay? And I think if you're buying those, I'm talking not radio, I'm talking about television. Because I have a limited amount of frequency here to tell you about our fine sponsors. That's my relationship. I'm talking about if you got $6 billion in your advertising budget, come up with something funny. And don't make jokes about that. Oh, it's so scary funny because they're all excited about the guy that does the commercial for Allstate. Is it Allstate?
And you know what? It shouldn't be an in-joke. Your commercial should not be an in-joke.
Thank you.
Don't be too much. Don't be too it for the room. All right.
Thank you. Do the insurance companies get that? That's it. That's what I wanted to say. We'll talk to Maddy Massiel after we come back. What? Anyway, welcome back to the Mike O'Mara, brought to you at Mike O'Mara Show.
The Mike O'Mara.
The get together of the Mike O'Mara. This portion of the program brought to you by Features. Little things can make big differences. For example, I never gave my socks a lot of thought until I tried Features. Features has engineered a sock with targeted compression, anatomical design, and moisture-wicking material for unsurpassed performance. I love them. And how about this? A lifetime guarantee. Features are so durable and long-lasting that if you're unsatisfied at any point, they'll give you a replacement pair, no questions asked. I love the way they stay in place, no bunching or sliding down into your shoe. It reduces discomfort and prevents blisters so I can focus on my golf game. They really are better. Really are better. And I love the left-right deal. Oscar and I were talking about that
such a big deal to me.
Very cool.
For someone who's OCD, to know which foot goes in which sock.
It's a better fit.
Great. It is.
It's a better fit.
It is. Yeah.
They give it some thought. That's what I love about Features. Family owned since 2002. I love them. Features socks will change how you feel about socks forever.
Ever, Maddy.
Forever.
Tippin'.
Hey, are you the Features guy? Yeah, I am. You can get $10
because we've worn a sock or two.
You can get $10 off your first pair of Features. That's FEETURES when you use code TMOS at features.com. That's FEETURES.com. I'm spelling it twice, even though I don't have to because I like them so much. Promo code TMOS after features.com for $10 off your first pair of Features. Suck it to me, baby, with Features. That's Robb Spiewak throwing a line in from the 1960s.
I want to bring it back, baby. I want to make it cool again, like Norm Macdonald in the word score.
We talked to Maddy periodically. Thank you for everything you do, and thank you for coming in here, and thank you for dealing with our very difficult year during this pandemic. We're all kind of living the same world here.
Yeah, for sure.
It's interesting that when I think about you, I will tell our listening audience what I know about you. I know that you are living in a horrible sin with your boyfriend John, and have been for a while. I know that you...
Do you know that, to add to that, do you know that things have to be very carefully worded when she visits with her grandparents?
Oh, yeah. Joan doesn't know, and we can't tell her because she'll be very upset.
Oh, well, I get that.
Grandma Joan.
Grandma Joan. Yeah.
I remember with my mom when one of my either my niece or nephew were being baptized in the Episcopal Church. I remember it was like I remember sitting at the kitchen table and my mom doing one of these. Like that. But I'm just telling you what I know about you. So I know the John thing. Mm-hmm. Then I know the mayor. Your father was the mayor of Buffalo, and then I know that you have a big Italian family, and I know you love Buffalo. You like going back to it. Mm-hmm. I have a best buddy, Jimmy Cerrito, who loves Buffalo.
Good people.
There are a lot of people from that area. People are very tied in, very connected.
The Chubbuck family has ties in Buffalo, and
really?
From the supper club. And I said to the Chubbucks, "Do you know Anthony Masiello? He's the best. I love him.
He's the best." I got another buddy down there where I play golf. That's a new guy down there. He's a Buffalo guy. That is another cool guy, another nice guy with a great attitude. And so let me see. Other than that, Manny Masiello. Other than that, I would say between Robb and Oscar, am the person who knows you the least.
Probably.
I know from you on the show. They probably know more about
also,
you.
you're distanced. You're distanced. You've never lived in the area when she was part of the show.
By design.
Of course. Yes.
Anyway, I'm sorry. No, that's
and court order. But other than that,
I think there might be longevity with not having me around every day. I think that I may have added a few years to everybody wanting to do this thing by not coming in a crappy mood or something like that.
Although I never came to your home.
Nothing's different from me coming in on this show really than if I'm in a pissed off mood, you'll know it online. If it's if I come in just like but I don't look. Truth be told, I don't really do that often. I react very hot if I feel I've been wronged or something's been screwed up really pointedly or neglected. But other than that, on a day-to-day basis, it's pretty straightforward, right? We all come in and kind of say hello to each other and off we go.
But it's not the same. I miss our little pre-show talks in your kitchen back in days of old. Those were always fun. Those were.
The Manassas stuff was fun. That was fun when we would do that. And it was also fun having more get-togethers. And the rules have changed. After we come out of this stuff, there's going to be, we're going to be clamoring to get everybody together and get together with the listeners as well. How we do that, I am praying that 2021 at some point will allow us to do it. Who would have thought when this all hit that we'd be talking like that? When it would be a given that 2021 was when we were going to do stuff. But getting back to you, Maddy. So you're a young woman. You join this band of misfits online, and you're here every day. And I don't even know where to start when I'm talking about the idea of doing this show with us every day. There had to be something. And I'm not fishing here, but I'm just asking legitimately. There had to be something that clicked with your idea of staying on after an internship and continuing besides just the gig, because the gig itself it's a big bowl of okay, but I'm
huge.
Just yeah. What are the things what do you like about your job? Is I guess what I'm saying, because I've heard that you do like it.
Well, I think when it all started, it was kind of like the precipice of Podcast Village. So I think a lot of it was, I'm going to start here with the show, but there's going to be so much more kind of that's going to happen with it. And I think also, like everyone kind of, I mean, they took the time in me and like invested in me to learn video. I didn't know stuff like that before, and kind of changing the whole, way we record here.
So the idea of taking up with this show, you're telling me, was the knowledge that you wouldn't have to be here very long.
Exactly.
Is that what
yes.
it is? Yeah.
Well, all of this is a lie. The real reason she stuck around is when we figured out she sounded just like the lady from Serial.
Yes.
And so we could use her for promos.
Well, I love writing promos. Rob,
oh, God,
so.
like pulling teeth.
Yeah.
Like pulling teeth.
On the show each and every day, how are you holding up with the whole COVID thing? That's really, I'm not going to give you any more crap about the show. I'm just curious about how you are handling it and how everything's going in your world. As a person who is 357 years younger than me, how are you and your wonderful beau handling things?
Pretty good. I think at the beginning, I just had a ton of mental breakdowns, and I think a lot of it was being worried kind of about my family and everything, especially like my dad and my grandma. And then I just realized that I have no control over them because they just do really whatever they want.
I remember early on, they were laughing and going to parties.
Yeah.
And you were saying, Dad, not okay. We're going to be fine. Yeah.
I think
so
they did bits on it.
I don't know.
They did bits on old people not taking it seriously. The people down where I live didn't take it seriously, and I'll never be able to figure that out. I would think it would be the opposite, that you'd be more careful.
Exactly.
And I'm wondering if I didn't have a 7-year-old, if I would have been the same way. Hey, who cares? No, I would have cared about it.
You would
I have a strong self-preservation. Were they kind of blowing it off at the beginning of this thing?
A little bit, but I think what really was helpful, like if my family didn't live in New York State for all of this, I think I would have gone a lot more crazy, because at least we had, somebody who shut everything down. And then it really helped with Buffalo's numbers, because, they stopped it soon enough so that there wasn't like a huge spread. And now New York's doing pretty well. So very thankful for that.
Pretty amazing for where they were and where they are now. A big W for Andrew Cuomo and what he's done, and his press conferences were enlightening. I thought at the beginning, one of the few people that was out there saying the things that needed to be said. I love that, and but it's different when you're upstate. It's different politically when you're upstate too.
Yeah, for sure. But Buffalo's a little bit kind of more like New York, but everything surrounding Buffalo is like very rural, very upstate. Kind of that way of thinking.
I mentioned this. I was going to mention it yesterday. For my politics up here in the wilds of Maine, let me just say I'm rooting for a particular team, and I'm seeing a lot of yard signs for the other team, and I'm seeing flags. Big flags.
They're always
I don't
big
know.
flags.
I don't want to. I said this yesterday. I don't want to
big is good. Big is smart. Big is effective.
Well, yeah, it's a bright. Look, I've always been a believer. Show the colors.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
show the and really, if you were basing it on that, we'd have a winner up here, at least in the state of Maine. It's kind of goofy.
Well,
but
maybe he could be governor.
Well, we had him. We had him light as governor here with that. So you were worried about your family. And I think you get to know your partner when you're in this situation. How has that gone?
Well, I also had like my quarter life crisis, I think, happened during quarantine as well.
Quarter life, the 25-year crisis.
Yeah,
you know what's sad is I had my quarter life crisis at age 12. Sad.
You're an old soul, Rob.
That's right.
You're an old soul.
But yeah, so we spent a lot of time together, and I don't know if it was necessarily quarantine, and I don't think it really had anything to do with John, but then I just had this like overwhelming feeling that I was wasting my youth, and that I should be out there, and not that I could really do anything during COVID, but I don't know. I just was like, I'm 23. What am I doing? I was about to pack up everything and move to Buffalo and just say, like, be done and start
Is this crisis what prompted the trip to the beach with the jellyfish?
Yes, I said I gotta get this stung out of me.
So did you? But see, I think that's completely normal. No matter what your age is, you start just thinking. All you have to do is sit around and think about what's going on. We need so much that we're not getting right now. And it ain't going to be solved by putting pictures of Weekend at Bernie's behind a baseball player in a stadium. Helps. We need to be even just a casual dining experience, even just to be. You know why we need it, Maddie? We need it because we need to go out and judge other people.
Of course.
That's what we have to do. We have to go to a restaurant.
So watch.
Oh, look at that. Louis Anderson does a bit on his dad. Oh, will you look at that? Oh, jeez. Look at that guy. What's the deal with that guy? And it doesn't necessarily work with a car. Although there was a car yesterday driving up here in Maine that was driving 11 miles per hour. And I went, I am not kidding you. I knew a shortcut and I did and I'm not exaggerating, I did a 1/4-mile detour and beat that car coming out of the other side. Yeah. And it was this set of triumph because I just know the way that chip works with old people that drive like that at the very last second when they just sense what's happening. And I saw him coming down that road and I went, and I drove by, this is how squirrely I am. I went, die!
Can I do?
It was weird.
A quick tip in for Maddie.
Yes.
Because one thing that she has not mentioned, because of her proximity and because of her skill set, she has done so much at Podcast Village to keep the broadcast going during all of this stuff. And I know because I do some editing for the Village, and I'll hear her actually hosting and producing sessions, and she does a great job. And I've heard her with literally admirals, generals, ambassadors, brilliant people, greatest minds of our time. But what is the one you couldn't do this week, Maddie?
Well, with the Doro Bush podcast health gig, they are having the one and only McDreamy, Patrick Dempsey, on. And I usually produce their show, but I looked at Rob Ford and I said, you have to take this because I will just melt into myself. And I'll do a terrible job and embarrass myself. It would be a disservice to everybody.
So you thought that McDreamy would be so dreamy that you couldn't handle the gig.
Power doesn't scare me, but I think attractive celebrity men really I can't handle myself.
Which kills me because
yeah, go ahead.
I would love to have heard the raw tape. He says, Patrick, we need a pick up.
Remember, that's where she draws the line.
I can't.
Attractive celebrity men. No problems on this show. We got no problems at all. That's it. We will take a break and come back with more fun on the Mike O'Mara Show.
Oscar, are we there yet?
Almost, Shannon.
Oscar.
Anyway, welcome back. Next time we do a cocktail show, I'm going to spend some time talking about those driving arrangements up to
I'm watching Real Housewives.
Boy, that's really, he does all that misogynistic crap.
Sure.
And I think it's just a big, big ruse when she's sitting in the back with her headphones and her candy driving up to Cape Cod while he does all the driving.
Eating them bonbons.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. Brought to you by Stamps.com. As we slowly adjust to a new normal, we still need to be smart about how we do business. Luckily, there's Stamps.com to make things easier. Thousands of small business owners have discovered the benefits of Stamps.com in recent months and have kept their businesses running while avoiding crowds at the post office, all from their own computers. You simply use your own computer to print official U.S. postage 24/7 for any letter, any package, any class of mail, anywhere you want to send it. Once your mail is ready, just leave it for your mail carrier, schedule a pickup, or drop it in a mailbox. You get great discounts, too. 5 cents off every stamp, too, and up to 62% off USPS and UPS shipping rates. Right now, our listeners get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, plus free postage and a digital scale without any long-term commitment. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in TMOS. That's Stamps.com, promo code TMOS. All right, well, we're all dealing with our own little trips here. I'm having my little moments, and, it's nothing compared to what people that have really lived this COVID thing have dealt with. And our heart goes out to anybody, frontliners, teachers that are thinking about, their health when they go back to school, families that are out there trying to figure out whether their kids are going to go.
If she had to report it next week. If not, decision.
Rob Spiewak. Maddie, can you hear that? It sounds like Rob's far away.
Yes. You're breaking up a little bit, Rob.
Okay, maybe am I back?
You're back. Your picture looks better now, too. So
okay, cool. Just a hiccup. They have made Loudoun County, where we live up here, they have made a countywide decision that it's going to be all virtual learning, no students, but they still have not told teachers whether or not they need to report to the facility to facilitate the virtual learning. And that's like 2 weeks away. So they still have no idea what's going on up here.
It's very, very frustrating. I want you to tease what you're going to talk about tomorrow on the show.
Okay.
Give me a minute or two about the situation with your daughter, because I think that I'd like to do a deeper dive on that, because
We'll
a
get
lot
into
of
it,
parents with college-age kids might be dealing with a similar situation.
And it was something that we really wrestled with and argued internally and externally about all summer long, about whether or not Julia would go back to Richmond to attend classes at VCU. And it was determined...
Virginia Commonwealth University.
Virginia Commonwealth, useless. VC, useless. But the... we sent her down. She decided she was going to do it. All the class, I say 90% of her classes were going to be virtual, but she got college, she got housing. We'll get into the fact why they sort of screwed her over on the housing. She went down, had a disastrous move-in on Saturday, and we've decided to keep her home this fall. And that's her decision as well. And it's so tough on her, especially when you get a text and you're only allowed to send one parent down for move-in. So Carrie went down with Julia. And
it's
I got
just all over the place, isn't it, Rob? Is it kind of all over the place, right, without a really good plan and all that? I mean, the gist of it. We'll hear the details.
We'll get all the details, but I got 2 texts on Saturday because I got a pocket call from Carrie, and I texted them both. I said, is everything okay? And Carrie, separately, I said this, and Carrie sent back, she says, Julia is a disaster, and Julia just replies back, this place is disgusting. And Carrie said, I watched her burst into tears. And I think that is like a 2-month ramp up to this situation. And Julia's just too smart to play this wrong. I think she tried to sort of fake it and put some reliance on the school that it was going to be handled. And
so when the
wasn't.
disappointment of not being able to do it hit home.
Mm-hmm. And I said
she was so ready to go. Remember we had her on the show, she said that, right?
We had 2 cars packed up, ready to move all the furniture, and she was going to be able to unpack and move in on Saturday, and then this Saturday she was going to go down and classes are going to start. And I said,
so it was a CF, as we like to say.
I said,
and
don't even unpack. I said, just come home. Come home.
We're going to take a break. I want you to reboot if you can while we're doing that. And when we come back, it's news you may not need right here on the Mike O'Mara Show, everybody. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, everybody. Well, it had to happen. Sadly, Oscar is gone.
Yeah.
And as you can see, he isn't here. Sad. And Shannon needs candy, and Santos is down to skin and bones. You've been generous, but if you want Oscar back, we need a little more. God, you're shameless. Please visit the TMOS Patron Society. Your generosity could have him back as soon as next Monday.
Yes, it could happen with your help.
Please join the TMOS Patron Society. We need you to go to MikeO'MaraShow.com. Seriously, and click the Patron Society banner. Make a pledge if you can. $1, $5, $10 a week, any amount. Even a one-time donation, entirely up to you. Because if you're there for us, we'll be here for you. If you can contribute, please do. Your support means the world to us now more than ever. We appreciate you, and we thank you. And be safe, Oscar. We'll podcast for food.
News.
Boo. Oh. Strange times.
They are.
Antonio Banderas turned 60 years old yesterday, and he celebrated by contracting COVID-19.
Happy birthday.
He said, quote, I'm forced to celebrate my 60th birthday in quarantine after having tested positive. I would like to add that I am relatively okay, just a little more tired than usual, but I am confident to recover as soon as possible. He added that he'll take advantage of this isolation to read, write, and rest. Antonio had a benign tumor removed from his back in 2009, and he had a heart attack 3 years ago. But as far as we know, he'd been in good health recently.
Back tumors are the worst. I hate a back tumor.
It's very uncomfortable. Antonio's ex, Melanie Griffith, celebrated her 63rd birthday the day before yesterday, but she didn't share a diagnosis. She posted a photo of a happy birthday sign on the front gate of her house. She said, quote,
I'm getting flowers, gifts, sweet texts, and FaceTimes from my children, my ex-husbands, and so many dear friends.
It's unclear if Antonio was one of them. I'm giving you both impressions.
I like when the phrase ex-husband is pluralized. I got texts from my ex-husbands.
Mm-hmm. Her other ex-husbands are Don Johnson and Stephen Bauer. Don Johnson, by the way, for all you ladies out there, referred to as the beer can.
Funny that I would remember that as well. Maddy, would you be able to engineer us a session with Antonio Banderas?
Probably, because he's a little bit older, than my target demographic.
Yeah, that would work.
And he played Puss in Boots. I'm not afraid of Puss in Boots.
That's true.
Not Dr. McDreamy. Can't do that.
No.
Another celebrity in the news, Sylvester Stallone. I saw this one. He's selling his SUV for more than your house is probably worth. It's a 20-foot, fully customized 2019 Cadillac Escalade, and he wants $350,000 for it. Cadillac, the Escalade Balboa, it's called. It has a 43-inch UHD LCD, 43-inch TV in it, built into the center divider, and a 12-inch screen for rear-facing passengers with 2 SIM cards from different carriers to ensure the most reliable connection. The windows have electric curtains, and there are 2 fully electric rear bucket seats.
Hey, man, electric curtains.
Electric rear bucket seats with leg rests. The car only has 1,000 miles on it. He's unloading it because his, quote, requirement for it has recently changed.
What
does that mean? That he can't afford it anymore? He can afford it.
My Kia Sorrento has analog curtains.
Mick,
43
I
inches.
looked at it. It's a cool car. It'd be the kind of car Oscar would want to drive to Cape Cod. But anywho, President Trump was in the middle of a press briefing yesterday when he was abruptly ushered out of the room. He came back later and announced that there was a shooting outside the White House. I watched a clip of this. According to later reports, a Secret Service officer shot a man who claimed he had a weapon and was acting erratically. Both the suspect and the officer were taken to local hospitals. Oh, hold on a second.
Oh, must be Kathy.
Yeah, it is. It is. All right.
She took them in 3 sets.
I know. Hello?
Hi there. Did you call me?
Yeah, I called you. Are you still interested in coming on the show tomorrow? We're on the show right now. Are you still interested in coming on even with my meltdown yesterday?
Yeah, let me call you back in about an hour. I'm getting my toast. I'll call you back when you're done with your show, okay?
Okay, bye-bye. All right, that's a no, probably.
You know what's great? She caught herself. She didn't say, I'm getting my toes done. She said, I'm getting my toes, I'll call you back.
Yeah, very good. Oops, I lost everything.
I wonder if they're tennis ball yellow.
What's that?
The polish she chose.
So let me see. So they took President Trump out. They took the Secret Service and the suspect to the hospitals, and the Secret Service is conducting an internal review. A reporter later asked Trump if he was rattled, and he dismissed it, saying, quote, I don't know, do I seem rattled?
Yeah, for the last 4 years you have.
Kathy Griffin later joked, quote, it wasn't me. I have to turn things off and disconnect things when I'm doing a show.
Can you turn Kathy Griffin off?
I probably not. Anyway, where is it? All right, it's right here. According to a new survey, people over 65, this is a survey of over 65 folks, you don't actually become old until you hit 77.
Lie.
And even then, 90% people say you're only as old as you feel. They also shared the best things about getting old, and here are 10 of the top answers. 10, not always having to worry about the future. 9, all the discounts. 8, finally having a clear idea of what's important in life. 7, not caring anymore what people think. That's old. 6, wearing clothes for comfort, not style.
Can you finish this list in Regis's voice?
Number 6. Number 5, realizing there's more to life than work. Number 4, finding pleasure in the little things. Number 3, having grandchildren. Number 2, not feeling pressure to do anything you don't want to do. And number 1, having more free time.
Hey, Regis, what about the discounts?
The discounts are crazy. Anyway, let's see. We're running super late here. I got time for this. 80% of people in a new poll say they're creatures of habit and do the same things over and over again. I bring this list to you, and I normally I don't do 2 lists in a row, and normally I chuck one of them.
Right.
I'm bringing this one on because it was so accurate. I think it was really good. Number 10, eat dinner at a specific time. We do that. We do that almost on a regular basis. Number 9, buy the same foods at the grocery store.
Yeah.
I know the Spiewaks do that, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
By the way, tomorrow, make sure that your wife gets all her... She texted me and said you were not telling the story correctly about Julia and the drop-off. So, and she was included. She said it smelled like a nursing home.
Yeah,
And
well, when you don't give a detail that's not telling a story incorrectly, that's omitting a detail because you're going to tell it tomorrow.
Right. Okay.
So
right.
I was actually right. And you know what? I think I'm going to take her phone away from her.
All right. What's wrong with the stream, Maddie? Is everything all right? Is everything okay?
Yeah, Pony says yes.
Everything's fine.
Is that from Carrie too? Help her?
No, Carrie said, what did Carrie say? Hold on a second. Carrie said, Rob isn't telling the story clearly. It smelled like a nursing home, and the room looked like I was dropping her off at rehab.
You see, this is the thing. We were doing
I got a laugh out of that.
teaser.
I didn't get a laugh out of your story. I'm sorry.
Because I was doing a 1-minute teaser. These were things I was going to reveal tomorrow.
Oh, see, Carrie? Come on. But I'm glad. God bless your wife for listening to the show again.
Yeah, and my mom listening today, too.
Hi,
Everybody's
Sharon.
listening.
How are you, sweetie?
And Charlie
thank you very
Bernie.
much. And Charlie Bernie. Everybody's listening today.
Everybody's in. It's a love-in. It's a hang.
All right, so buy the same food, eat the same breakfast, always use the same brand of toilet paper, shop at the same stores, wear the same outfits, style your hair the same way, have the same bedtime, sit in the exact same spot on the sofa. Hello, Carla.
Yes.
And sleep on the same side of the bed. That's routine.
Well, always.
For us.
I think that's sort of required, isn't
What
it?
side of the bed do you sleep on, Rob Spiewak?
As if your head is on the headboard, I'm on the left side. Yeah.
Left side. Okay.
Left side.
That left side. Which way do you face when you sleep?
Face up so Carrie can come at me with the pillow. No, I tend to sleep. I do alternate, but either on my back or on my left shoulder.
Oh, okay. I sleep on my left side, and I'm on the left side of the bed, and that's the way. Maddie, what about you?
I'm on the right side, but I'm the weirdest sleeper. So I sleep on my stomach with the pillow over my head and my feet up. Very strange. It's hard to picture. I understand.
We don't have time.
I know. I'm
God,
sorry.
What?
Talk about it later this week.
She's back on Thursday. She's back on Thursday.
Please remind me of that.
It's bizarre.
Trust me.
Thank you.
I shall drop everything.
Thank you. And now a little something. A California Highway Police helicopter rescued an elderly couple who were injured Sunday while trying to flee from an angry cow.
Oh, no.
The pair encountered the cow and her calf while hiking. Apparently perceiving them to be a threat, the cow began chasing them, causing them to fall and hurt themselves.
Oh, and hurt themselves?
The couple called the cops, who sent out a helicopter. When it arrived, it hovered down and shooed the cow and calf by sounding the helicopter's siren. Then a highway patrol paramedic determined that the couple required helicopter transport.
Yes.
The man and woman were hoisted one by one about 75 feet into the chopper. And then they were flown to a waiting ambulance crew at the trailhead. They were taken to a hospital and treated for injuries. The other paramedic that was working on the case did not think that they needed it. He thought that they were milking it.
No.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. I had to do that. That's my stupid line of the day. We'll take a break.
Mike, that was utterly terrible.
It was. Oh, there was another one I was going to. They all suck. We'll take a break and come back with the audio vault with Rob Spiewak right here on the Mike O'Mara Show. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, brought to you by our bonus packages. Well, here we are, 2-2-2 Tuesday.
Nice.
It's Maddie's favorite day of the week, right,
yeah.
Maddie? Isn't this?
Love Tuesdays.
Why do you love it so? I know. It's because you're only 3 days away from another TMOS bonus show, which happens this very Friday. Unless, of course, you haven't subscribed. What's the matter with you? Were you too busy huffing gasoline to click the link at MikeO'MaraShow.com? Say, Brainless, didn't you know that for mere pennies you get full unlimited access to every bonus episode of all time? No commercials, no censorship, no fooling. And now with the zesty zing of wintergreen. Yum, bitches. Just click the banner at MikeO'MaraShow.com. Be smart. The whole catalog is right there just waiting for you. And a subscription just might cure your bleeding ulcer. It's your passport to the assport. I'm Mike O'Mara, and I guarantee it. And now back to Captain Dave Fogel in the WAVA music machine, already in progress. Yeah! Let's open up the audio vault for today. This is Tuesday, August 11, 2020. Take it away, Rob Spiewak.
One of the many great music video-driven shows on Channel 20, the WAVA music machine. But I digress. Do you think it's okay to trick your children if it's in their best interest?
Yes.
Yeah, I do too. This is a devious dad's trick. This was on the TikTok. He wasn't dancing, but this is how he tricks them into taking a nap. And as someone who likes devious plans to fool children, I think this is brilliant.
Sometimes I like to turn on movies that are in Spanish, and then my kids look at me all confused and wonder why they can't understand it. And I say, well, I don't know why, but you're probably just tired and you need to take a nap. And then when they wake up from their nap, I take the same movie and put it in English, and they think that they're all better.
Very clever, Daddy. Very
that.
clever.
There's lots of clever people out there, Mike, but not a lot of them are at Sturgis this week. Sturgis.
God, don't get me started, please. I was part of that throng.
I know, but you know what? If there's not a pandemic, it's probably okay to all hang out and go to a Smash Mouth concert.
It's a different phase of my life. Not one of the better phases of my life as far as
Mm-hmm. There was that Smash Mouth concert where everyone was shoulder to shoulder, and they said everyone was obeying.
Can I just stop you for a second there and just say this? The whole Sturgis thing is, look, it's really kind of I never talk about Sturgis a lot. They lose people every year at Sturgis.
Of course, yeah.
They lose like 4 or 5, sometimes 8, sometimes better, sometimes worse. But it's really just, it's a look at me culture.
Yep.
It's like, look at me. Look at me, please. I have something loud and shiny, and look at all my patch. Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me.
Yeah. Yeah,
I know, but look, bikers do a lot of good for charity. There's no doubt about that. But ultimately, it's like, I don't know. I could go on. I'm not. I was part of that culture for a while, so I get it.
I feel if I were to track that culture I think Sturgis almost cured you of that culture.
It may have.
That's the timeline I remember. Anyway, Smash Mouth played a huge concert, and while they said that everyone was obeying all of the guidelines for safety, sure looked like a lot of people without masks in the audience. And the best part is when the lead singer, who, remember, had a hit record 25 years ago, screamed, F this COVID-S. All right. Anyway.
Yeah, not the disease, right? Was he kind of indicating all the stuff people have to go through?
The hoopla.
Right?
Yeah. So let's go to our man on the street at Sturgis and see what the bikers have to say.
Come here for the riding, the hills and the scenery, and it's just like goosebumps. No, we didn't take any precautions, as we normally don't. We think the majority of this situation is manufactured. There's ulterior motives behind it.
Yeah.
So we're not concerned.
Also, the danger of
manufactured, you stupid. Manufactured. What, the deaths are manufactured?
Yeah,
They're manufactured? You ignorant. Your ignorance is not valid. I'm sorry, God Almighty.
I just thought we had to play that.
What kind of minds do we have? Really unbelievable? All right,
Mike. Also, they manufacture the danger of riding without a helmet. That's all manufactured. So don't wear a helmet. Don't wear a mask. Here's something that'll bring a smile to your face. I think there is a YouTube channel that I follow called "There I Ruined It," where they play musical things in the wrong way. You like bluegrass. I like bluegrass. Don't you ever think it would be great if there was a bluegrass cover of the Michael Jackson song Bad?
Your word is mine. I can tell you right. I just show your face in broad daylight. I'm telling you on how I feel. It gonna hurt your mind.
Mind the backup singers here. It's my favorite part.
I wouldn't say the sky's the limit, and to me it's really true. But my friend, you haven't seen nothing. I just wait till I get through because I'm bad.
It works.
It does. And it's what I've always said is that if a song is properly written, it can transcend genre. But anyway, the YouTube page is called There I Ruined It. Check out it. There's a lot of good laughs there. And we close with this. Jeopardy is still doing highlight episodes of past ones as they do sort of like a greatest hits, getting ready, right? I just thought I saw this on the YouTube. I thought this would be a good episode they could run.
Good luck, players. Here we go. The land of the midnight sun. Mr. President.
Yosemite.
Oh, no.
Some country.
Be a little more specific.
Thailand.
No, sorry.
China.
That is wrong.
It is what it is. I love China. I get along great with China.
Interesting.
I get along great with Japan. I get along great with Mexico.
We may need to check for brain activity.
I have a very, very large brain.
All right, good having you here.
You are stupid.
So look for that tonight on your local ABC affiliate. That's your Magic Audio Vault. Have a great Tuesday, everybody.
That's it. All right, legs up in the air. We have to get going. Thank you, Maddy, for sitting in and doing a fine job. Thank you.
How about that?
Pony Boy. And we will be back with another episode tomorrow with final clarity on this situation down there at your daughter's college.
Yeah, and maybe Rob Ford will be joining us. Maybe your sister.
And we will also dive into the Russian vaccine. What could possibly go wrong?
It tastes delicious.
Special. We'll see you tomorrow with a brand new episode of the Mike O'Mara Show. For Rob Spiewak and Oscar Santana, Mike O'Mara saying so long, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Ball Crusher McGee.
Before you go, please make a mental note. Today's show was made possible by the TMOS bonus packages. You can secure yours right now by going to MikeO'MaraShow.com and clicking on the red bonus banner. Buy it or give it. Either way, you're helping out TMOS, and that's a good thing. Thank you, and go in peace.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Now get home safely. Good night.
It's been a good day. My God, what a good day for mankind.
Good night, Jerry.
Good night. No.
Bye-bye.